Good morning. Welcome to the first quick take of the season. I'm joined by Stephen Sheldrake. What a result! I'm still pinching myself. It was-
Absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. But like, even better than the result was the performance. I couldn't believe that it was Fulham. I was watching, and I'm ready for today's stream with my Mister Men, Mister Fulham mug. So let's do this.
it's one of those that, Sammy, we organised like who's doing what, and the quick take came up, and I was like, oh, quick take after Liverpool at home. Well, that's gonna be a bit of a slog. And then he's going to be regretting not taking this one himself, I think. Just absolutely incredible. A real statement of intent from Fulham, I think. I think a lot of people going into this, myself included, was like, okay, as long as it's not 4-0, as long as it's not 5-0, as long as we don't get humiliated, I'll be happy. It's a free hit. Let's just get it out of the way. Nobody wants to face Liverpool first game of the season. But the boys look so up for it, so fit, came out of the blocks. The pressing in the first 15 minutes was just absolutely phenomenal. We didn't allow Liverpool, who are one of the best teams in Europe, let's not forget, any time on the ball, any breathing space, and we just completely smothered them. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was just we're back. We are back, and we can go toe to toe with some of Europe's finest. It was just unbelievable. And one of the things that I loved is afterwards looking forward to match of the day. When was the last time you felt that? Just thinking, oh, we might actually be on first today. And that's one of the moments that it kind of sunk in. Like Fulham are back. We're competing with the Premier League. It's just incredible. How do you summarize how you felt after that, Stephen?
I'm still a bit speechless, to be honest. Like, when that lineup was announced and it was a lot of the old guard in the Championship, I was like, my goodness, like, fair play to Marco for like, picking a team that had a full pre-season and everything. But I was like, okay, yeah, we're losing this 3-0, 4-0. And me of little faith, silly me. I guess as a Fulham fan, it's so easy to be like pessimistic, isn't it? To try and you know defend yourself from all the pain of the losses. But then yesterday, yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was at the game like, okay, 5 minutes, we played really well. 10 minutes, just enjoy that 10 minutes. 15, and then yeah, amazing.
Amazing. We've got a really funny comment from Jay's on YouTube, I believe that stands for. Do you think both teams have enough to stay up? Well, I guess we'll see by the end of the season. But Liverpool will be happy with a point after that performance, I think. And I just want to talk about the team selection quickly. So there was a few raised eyebrows. It was a starting lineup that looked very similar to the Championship team that won us the Championship last year. And we had Paulinho feature, we had Andreas Pereira feature, but other than that, it was pretty much we had Rodak in goal, Ream starting at centre back, and I think that upon reflection, I saw this and I was like, oh, okay, right, getting PTSD thinking of the first game of the Premier League last time where
Yeah,
Ream
exactly.
was off the pace, and I was like, okay, well, just brace yourself going into this. I think it was a really shrewd bit of managerial selection, team selection there, because effectively what he's done with this squad, he said, "Look, you've earned your place in the Premier League. Okay, I'm not going to drop you for the sake of it. We saw that when we've come up previously, we've had a complete kind of squad overhaul. They said, you've earned this. Go out there and prove yourself. Okay, against one of the best teams in Europe, and then in doing that, he's motivated the team so much to within an inch of their lives. They just came out of the blocks. I thought Ream was phenomenal yesterday. It's like he just completely commanded his penalty area. But effectively in doing so, if we were to have got stuffed sort of 5 or 6-0, it would allow justification in order to then bring in those new signings. But boy, oh boy, did the boys, earn their place for the next game, Stephen.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. After watching Benfica, the Algarve, and where we lost 5-1 with a fairly similar selection, I was just like, wow, okay, so if Benfica can do that, what Liverpool can do. But they were so fantastic, and the reason it worked so well is because Marco Silva has set up a system and has stuck to that, his philosophy of football, and those boys are drilled in so well with that Liverpool just couldn't handle that intense pressure. And I couldn't believe I was watching when Alisson, one of the best keepers in the world, known for his footwork, was just hoofing out for an attacking Fulham throw about 3 times in the match. And I was like, what are we doing? They're like crumbling, and it was brilliant, wasn't it? And the absolute right approach by Marco Silva there. Super proud.
Absolutely. Let's talk about Alexander Mitrovic, man of the match performance, 2 goals. Silencing some critics. What better way of proving that you can cut it in the Prem than putting in a performance like that? I believe Mitrovic emptied his pockets this morning. He found his keys, his phone, his wallet, and Virgil van Dijk was in there as well. We talk about the Cruyff turn on the halfway line.
Oh,
Absolutely shrugged off Jordan Henderson as if he was some little pipsqueak kind of like younger year, and then stormed unbelievable hold up play. And Cruyff turned arguably the best defender in the world. I mean,
yeah.
are we, are
Like,
we, are we talking another, 20? How many do you think he can go on and get?
I mean, I was watching Shane Duffy's Cruyff turn against Ronaldo when we signed him as well. That's a good one. But
Mm.
Mitrovic was the complete centre forward yesterday. He scored. Not only did he score 2 goals, but he held the ball up. He got back and got completely stuck in. Especially useful during Liverpool corners with his height and strength. Um, it was maybe the best performance we've ever seen. And he was proving he can do it at this level. We always knew he could. But we also know it's all about the manager and playing around him. And Marco Silva is our man. We saw it under Jokanovic. We don't talk about Ranieri and Parker. Of course, he can do it. He does it on the international stage. And, don't be surprised if he hits 15 to maybe 20 goals. Is a bit optimistic. But, hey, he's got 45 and 45 now. Why put him down?
So right, my mate is a Liverpool fan. I was texting him yesterday after the game, and just on cloud nine as you do. And then I said, "Yeah, see, Mitchell can do it in the Prem," because he was one of these people who'd always been on the fence. And then he responded saying, "Yeah, 10 max." I was like, He's already got 20% of that type. He's gonna come on and do it
Against Liverpool
Sammy,
as well.
yeah, against Liverpool, exactly. Sammy James here. He said he wasn't going to watch because he had guarding duties, but he nothing can keep him away from this. Did Joao Paulinho get lost on his way to Man City and somehow end up at Fulham? I mean, we knew he looked good from what we'd seen in pre-season. We knew he looked good from the dodgily put together skill compilation videos that we've all been watching on YouTube. But boy, did he look good yesterday. Just shoring up in midfield. I mean, he's just what we've needed in that midfield for quite some time. Just that rugged all and out central defensive mid who's just going to allow the likes of Reed and whoever else comes in, Pereira, just the freedom to be creative. I mean, how do you think he performed yesterday, Stephen?
I mean, everyone performed incredible yesterday, so it's hard to pick out anyone. But Paulinho was phenomenal. I remember the moment he first came on against Nice in a friendly, and that was early days. And when you have those players where everything they touch just seems to turn to gold. And Jimmy Bullard was a bit like that, where wherever he got the ball, he kept it going, and it just was always positive. It just reminded me of that, where every time he gets stuck in, you're like, this guy is big enough and strong enough to just win every tackle. And he was phenomenal. And like we were chatting about the team earlier, being a lot of the old lineup, but actually just Paulinho and Pereira is enough to give us an absolutely defensive core in the center of the park. And then Pereira's pressing was so intense and wonderful that just those two players have made a huge difference. And Paulinho could be our best player of the season alongside Mitro.
We'll see. It was nice to see a little run out for Manor Solomon as well. Came on towards the end. He looked, obviously, it's been a long time since he's kind of, played competitive football. So I feel like with him, he's going to need like a little bit of time to get up to speed, get up to the, physicality of the Premier League. But it was nice to see him get a run out too. This always makes me laugh. This is a good point from Jonathan Packett here. Funny watching the likes of William Hill big up Micho on Twitter after slating him for not being good enough. It's like one of these performances yesterday that, you get like, Paddy Power and stuff, just always coming in with lazy, cheap little jibes about Fulham and how we're going to be relegated by Christmas and how like Misha can't cut it in the Prem and how we're like just a bunch of sort of Tory toffs and we're not a real football stuff. And then we go on, BT Sport yesterday with the world of football fans watching, and we put in a performance like that under our beautiful new stadium, which I thought looked great. It's funny, like people are like, it's going to be half open, and then you look at it, it's like, that's not half open, is it? You've got like the very bottom tier, but it did look lovely. Keep your comments coming in, guys. A lot of obviously good vibes coming in. We've got Mangoes Bananas, great name. The whole team played out of their skins. I don't know whether that's a pun on your.
I think it is a banana.
Maybe like Mangoes Bananas just always comes on and makes sort of banana-esque like comments. That's just his vibe.
They played out of their knee skins.
Yeah, apparently. Shame the pitch was dry, to be fair.
Because Mitro's on fire. Love it.
We got Aaron Williams. If this level of performance can be sustained, this will be a very enjoyable year. Exactly that, you know. I think everyone went in with there was, and I've been guilty of it myself, an air of sort of pessimism around the club with the signings being a bit late and this, that, and the other. And it's easy to get bogged down in like, oh no, this is going to be. I think we're all just collectively suffering from PTSD for the last times, aren't we? You know, once bitten, twice shy, and all that. But yeah, I agree, Aaron. If we can keep this level of performance up, very, very enjoyable year indeed. In fairness, Pereira put in a proper shift, fought for everything. Yeah, he did. The whole team just, did. I don't think they could have given more on that field. It was really, really, really impressive.
Yeah, I think the big question, right, is that if we could play like that every game, well, wow. I mean, obviously it'd be a phenomenal season. Can we keep up that energy levels across the season? And I guess the question is, that's where we're going to need the squad depth. And it's a bit of a weird one this year, of course, with the World Cup interrupting the season. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. But of course, if we can keep the consistency of yesterday up, it's going to be phenomenal. And it's just whether we can keep that up across an entire season in a long-term strategy under Marco Silva. Because obviously he started so well with Everton, and then it kind of crashed and burned a little bit in that second season. That's the only really bad season he's had. But he's got so much more experience now, and my God, yeah, if we could keep anything like yesterday's performance, then we're going to be very lucky as Fulham fans.
Absolutely. This is quite an interesting question here from Russell. Leno straight in for Wolves. Like, as I said earlier, I feel like Silva said to that squad that started, "You've earned this place." I think Rodak had a good game yesterday. I think it may be a little bit harsh to bring Leno straight in, but I think a lot of people, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if I saw that happen. However, I would feel maybe it would be a little bit harsh. But then also you've got I think healthy competition is good, right? In any position. Like we're in a privileged position here that we've got two very good goalkeepers. That pressure, on Rodak, thinking, if I make a howler at any sort of given point, then it looks like Leno might just come straight in. It's a weird excuse me, it's a weird situation here. Like how do you envisage Marco Silva playing this one?
It's actually really difficult because you give Rodak the game time that he deserves, and then he does really well. What do you do with Leno? Because Leno's not come here to be on the bench. A player of that caliber, he's come here to start week in, week out, and he's good enough. So a really big headache. But hey, every manager wants those headaches, right? And that's the whole point. Two great players in every position. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, I think we all want to see Leno, and that's really, really exciting. But Rodak does deserve his chance. So it's a really interesting one.
We'll see. More jokes coming in. Poor Klopp can't believe they're the only ones playing on a dry pitch. Very good indeed. I mean, I watched some post comments from the Liverpool players, and they were like, draw was a fair result upon reflection. I mean, I think we could have gone and nicked it, but I think their goals were fairly lucky. They had a touch of class for the Salah goal, and Nunez's finish was very tidy, but really, really went toe to toe with them. You can't. Yeah, don't any complaints from Liverpool players, fans, or the manager.
Yeah, that second goal was a real shame because Tim Reams obviously got his head on it to try and kind of deflect it, and wasn't aware that Tosin's right behind him and could have just smashed it out. So whether that's Tosin's bad for not communicating that he was going to get that ball, or Tim Ream just going for it and flicking it onto Salah or Nunes or something. But hey, these things happen, don't they? And given the rest of Ream's performance, I can forgive him for that one. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I do really like Liverpool fans there. It was nice having a chat to them before the game and sort of after the game. They seemed in good humour. I had a funny moment. There's at Craven Cottage, people always say that Liverpool fans just sneak into the home end, right?
Yeah.
I sit in the Putney end, right by where the teams come out, and there were these two lads there who were like so obviously Liverpool fans. It was a joke, like celebrating the goals and stuff, not being overly like zealous or vociferous with their celebrations, but just actually celebrating. And after the first Liverpool goal, they were celebrating. I sort of said to them, I was like, look, I wasn't being aggressive. I was like, look, guys, the away end is literally just over there. We're not segregated. If you want to, you can just walk across and go and sit with your own fans. Like, I was offering a bit of kind of like friendly advice. And then the guy was like, he's just like, no, I know I like these seats. I bought them off a mate. I paid for these seats. I like these. I'm not moving. I'm like, yeah, but this is the home end. You're not meant to be sat here. And he went, what are you going to do about it? And I went, I'm not going to do anything about it. But like, I could literally get you kicked out if I wanted to, but I didn't. But then obviously when Mitro got the penalty, it was so nice having them there. Just
And to be fair, like, on the way, I said to my little brother, like, right, be prepared because those Liverpool fans are going to be absolutely roaring. And, we know the atmosphere at Fulham can be a bit shaky sometimes. But when I was there, I was like, my goodness, we're so loud. And the Liverpool fans were so quiet. Like, they piped up when they got the equaliser and started playing a little bit better. But I couldn't believe it. I mean, you were obviously sat right next to them. I think there's quite a difference when you're in Hammersmith and Putney in terms of the crowd levels. But I was expecting a much louder crowd, to be honest, from Liverpool.
Yeah, they're a friendly bunch of Liverpool supporters, and they're always up for a chat and stuff. But yeah, they were a little bit quiet. But I think that's just testament to how well we played. We didn't give them anything to cheer about really. They were chasing the game throughout the whole match, and yeah, that was reflected in the decibel levels. Great, cool. Well, we've got the podcast that's being recorded later today. So if you want to, get involved with that, you can send in some questions via the Twitter or Instagram, or however you want to get in touch. And also, if you can't get enough of chat after today, and you want to support the podcast, you can join our wonderful Telegram channel. There's a lot of people in there. It's great fun. So there's a link in the description to this if you want to get involved and support the podcast. But yeah, I'm gonna let you get on with your Sunday, Stephen. Thanks very much for joining me for this. It's been a lot of fun. More analysis to come, and there will be analysis in the podcast if this was a bit more kind of just on cloud nine, just talking nonsense. But yeah, enjoy your rest of your Sunday, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and podcast is coming tomorrow. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.